friends. Thank you for checking in. There's been a lot of talk and activity around imposter syndrome and inner critics lately, especially on places like Clubhouse. We love to talk about this one. You know something? We all have the inner critic. It serves a function, an important function. It's there to keep us safe. And it tries to teach us that if you just hold off on saying what you mean, and if you put it into more acceptable language, if you use the current industry lingo, and especially, this is the dangerous part, if you subscribe to the pedestrian ideas that have been widely accepted and circulated, that you'd be safer. And it's true. If you say what everyone else is saying, and if you say it in a way that everyone else approves of, it'll be easy to find favor. Lots of nodding heads, lots of people agreeing with you. But agreement is not what causes innovation. Agreement is not the root of creativity. Agreement is not what shakes things up. Lets us break through to the next level and make stuff happen. It's been said before, say what you mean and mean what you say. If you know who you are, if you have a vision for what you want to create in this world, and if you have a set of values and principles that you stand on, that you're willing to die on, when things piss you off or drive you nuts, say so. Be able to articulate why they drive you nuts. When you see an opportunity or a shift that you think can change the world, say so. Look, if you've been basing the things that you say, the things that you do, and the things that you believe on the experiences that you have had, you have learned something by setting your foot out into the world, courageously, being prepared to get smacked down, being prepared to be wrong, being prepared to be schooled. And that, my friends, is the best way to go about it. Because when you uncover and experience the world that way, you've come upon it honestly. It's not because you've been sitting and postulating from your professor's chair. You've actually gone and lived life, taken your shot, getting knocked down, and learning through real-world experience what works and what doesn't, what matters and what doesn't. So when you're talking about Agile, or any aspect of what we do, whether it's leadership, whether it's influence, whether it's confidence, certainty, whether it's leading teams, talk about what you believe. Talk about what you've experienced. Talk about what you feel is right. And when the inner critic pops up and says, who are you to say that? That's not what everybody else is saying. That's not what's acceptable. You need to be able to recognize that moment. Recognize when it's logic and reason telling you that what you're about to say isn't right versus your inner critic, because your inner critic will betray logic and reason, will defy logic and reason. It'll spit in the face of your intuition and everything that you've worked so hard to learn the hard way. And it will tell you, don't say that, don't write that, don't think that, don't teach that, because it's unpopular. Because people are going to laugh at you. Because people are going to reject you. Because people are going to oppose you. Because people are going to think ill of you. You can't let what other people think. You can't let how other people will react dictate your reality and alter what you're about to do. And the inner critic operates from that place of fear. Your inner critic is worried about the reactions of other people. It's worried about the consequences of speaking your truth. Really think about it. How often do we do that? How often do we keep our mouths closed because we're worried about what will happen to ourselves, to our friends, to our loved ones, to our colleagues? And there are definitely times to be peaceful and agreeable and to not rock the boat. And wisdom teaches us what those moments are. But if you don't understand your inner critic and listen to him or her at work, then you're not in control of your mind, it's in control of you. You are letting it do its thing without questioning it, without challenging it, without learning from it. So your inner critic actually is your best friend, as long as you know when it's flashing its badge. And don't mistake that for common sense or what's right. Learn to question it. One of the easiest ways to develop this muscle is to do something that Julia Cameron describes as the daily pages, which means just write 3 pages of whatever pops into your head. There's no right, there's no wrong, as long as you don't let the inner critic shape your words. So as you write, listen to that part of your mind that tells you to reshape your sentence, to choose different words, to fabricate or groom the things that you put down on the paper before you put them down. You'll actually see the critic at work, your internal censor. We'll try to defeat that by just letting the pen fly. Don't let it stop moving. Keep the hand going, and whatever comes out, comes out. The idea of these 3 pages is not to turn it into genius. You're never going to publish it. You may never even read it again. But it's to get in touch with the practice of seeing your inner critic trying to stop you in very, very subtle ways. Give that practice a try, and you may find yourself meeting your inner critic for the first time. And then you get to see where imposter syndrome comes from, and it kind of sits over you like an umbrella, blocking your view of most of the things that are around you, obstructing your vision, blinding your way. But once you learn that you can take your inner critic just like that umbrella, turn it down, fold it up, and park it by your side, then you become its master. And then you can watch your creativity, your certainty, and your leadership grow. Guys, thank you for listening in. You can find me on Instagram at Badass Agile, on the web at worldwideweb.badassagile.com, in Clubhouse, we're the Badass Agile Club, and on LinkedIn, check out the Badass Agile page. I look forward to seeing you next time, and until then, stay badass.